So,
I mean, I believe in my God, though, but I'm just
how many gods is there?
Jesus. I don't know how many gods there are.
But you know Jesus is the Son of God, right? So how can he be God? That's what the Bible teaches us. So what you believe? What you believe in the Bible?
I believe there's a God.
There is a God, but God creates. He created the earth.
Amen.
He also created his Son.
Amen.
I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man.
Who was the one? Who was the one like unto the Son of Man? Who's the Son of Man? Christ, right?
Came with the clouds of heaven.
So Christ came with the clouds of heaven, like how we see is going to happen in Revelations. Keep going.
And came to the Ancient of Days.
So he came to the Ancient of Days, who is the Most High God. So if there was a vision and we seen Christ in the heavens, so he's not because Christ, they say, is God in the flesh. So the Spirit of God is in Christ in the flesh. But here Christ isn't in the flesh. Christ is in the Spirit. So there's a vision of Christ in the Spirit on clouds going to God.
And there was given him.
So there was given Christ. So if Christ was God, who is giving him
Dominion.
Who's giving Christ dominion? Keep going.
And glory.
And glory.
And a kingdom that all people, nations, and language should serve him.
Right? All people, nations, and language going to serve Christ in this kingdom. But this power was given to him. So if he's the Most High God, how is he giving himself this power? Or who is it that's giving him this power?
Preparing war for the peace. Close without iron, we roar in the streets. The Lord sent a fire, we preparing the feast. Praying for the haste when we face in the east. Place come like a day when it reach. I'm on my knees, begging you please. With this faith of a mustard seed. Plant me in your garden and water me. And watch me grow to a tree. Forgive me for my sins. Baba Kasha, Salakya, Salakya. Called up a lot for ya, how about Shimmy, I'm shot. Brakata.
Forgive me. Please have mercy on my soul. Father,
Down here in
I like
America.
what y'all doing.
All praise to the Most High. Where you from? Puerto Rico?
Yes, sir.
You know Puerto Rico was conquered by the Spaniards. So
I mean, I believe in my God, though, but I'm just
how many gods is there?
Jesus. I don't know how many gods there are.
But you know Jesus is the Son of God, right? So how can he be God? That's what the Bible teaches us. So what you believe? What you believe in the Bible?
I believe there's a God.
There is a God, but God creates. He created the earth.
Amen.
He also created his Son.
Amen.
Watch this. Go to Daniel 7 and 13. Watch this. Because Christ can't be God after reading the Bible. Right?
This is Daniel 7 and 13. I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man.
Who was the one like unto the Son of Man? Who's the Son of Man? Christ, right? Jesus Christ will be the Son of Man. So we see in the night visions, Daniel seeing one like unto the Son of Man. This is the Old Testament, right? Keep going.
Came with the clouds of heaven.
So Christ came with the clouds of heaven, like how we see is going to happen in Revelations. Keep going.
And came to the Ancient of Days.
So he came to the Ancient of Days, who is the Most High God. So if there was a vision and we seen Christ in the heavens, so he's not because Christ, they say, is God in the flesh. So the Spirit of God is in Christ in the flesh. But here Christ isn't in the flesh. Christ is in the Spirit. So there's a vision of Christ in the Spirit on clouds going to God. Right? Keep going.
And there was given him.
So there was given Christ. So if Christ was God, who is giving him
Dominion.
Who's giving Christ dominion? Keep going.
And glory.
And glory.
And a kingdom that all people, nations, and language should serve him.
Right? All people, nations, and language going to serve Christ in this kingdom. But this power was given to him. So if he's the Most High God, how is he giving himself this power? Or who is it that's giving him this power? Right? Do you know? This is the Bible. You say you believe in the Bible, right? Now we ought to obey God rather than man, right?
Nobody knows, man.
Well, if the Bible tells us, it's not that nobody knows, it's just our people are ignorant, right? They have a lack of knowledge, right? They don't actually read the Bible. If you actually read the Bible, you would see that there's a separation between God and Jesus. Bring it out.
This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
So the head of every man is Christ.
And the head of the woman is the man.
According to the Bible, the head to you, sis, would be your husband. Keep going.
And the head of Christ is God.
So if Christ is God, then how does he have someone above him? Right? Y'all ask ourselves these things. It's because Christ, go to Acts 7. You going to that?
I was about to put my God when he says it 4 times.
Go ahead. Yeah.
This is Revelation 3 and 11. It says, him that overcometh, Salaki, it's Revelation 3 and 12. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God.
Right, this is red letters. So Christ said, whoever overcomes, he's going what?
Whoever overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God.
So who's Christ God? That's Christ out of his own mouth saying, my God. Right, keep going.
And he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God,
Right.
and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name.
Right. So
So he is talking about Christ.
no, this is Christ,
Christ.
talking about God.
Christ has it.
Red letter is
No, I'm saying he kept saying my God.
Yeah, so this is Christ saying he's going to make his people a pillar in the temple of his God. So he's saying that he has a God.
7 and 55. Acts 7 and 55.
So you guys also read the Bible.
We study the Bible, we teach the Bible. We come out here to teach the Bible. But today what we're doing is we got American history textbook from 1930 that was a textbook for the New York public schools. This textbook is telling us the exact thing the Bible is telling us. The prophecies of Daniel that we're bringing out is lining right up with this history and
Any book you
archaeology.
would suggest to me?
Um,
The Bible? It's hard to read it.
All right, so get
our NLT.
It's hard to understand. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
If you don't
look.
have the knowledge to understand the Bible, then you can't read the Bible because you can't focus on it. That's how I feel. You know
All
what
right,
I'm saying? Yeah, I read stuff. You know what I'm saying? Though, like the Bible. Hold the Bible in your hand.
Go to unless a man shall teach you. Unless a man shall teach you. I got you. Watch this. Watch this.
Then you got to understand that the book, so you see it, you read it different. You can talk so much bullshit, it's hard to read the Bible and you don't understand it. There's a fight.
There's a fight.
About our whole
I
life.
like that you put it like that.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Go to Acts 8 and 30.
Acts 8:30.
Because I always feel like that. Like there's something
lies
that just
forever.
don't let me sit down and read. Which is crazy. It's like you read any other book and there's no book more powerful.
Right.
Very
More
nice.
interesting, you know?
Why is it more powerful? Because there's things that was written thousands of years ago that said what happened today and it's happening today. This is the only book on the earth that actually made prophecies that came to pass. Right? So watch this.
This is Acts 8 and 30. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah and said, understandest thou what thou readest?
Right? Do you understand what you're reading? Like you said, it's hard for you to understand even though you're reading, right? Keep going.
And he said, how can I, except some man should guide me?
Unless somebody guiding us, how we going to understand this? So how so much wisdom and understanding came onto this earth is because somebody read the Bible. They read it from the beginning. The beginning of the Bible tells us to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And it tells us what's going to happen if we don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So there's blessings for keeping it and curses for not keeping it. Now, we can prove going through the curses that the Bible promised that the children of Israel will be going through will be so-called Puerto Ricans, so-called blacks, Dominicans, Cubans, Colombians, Jamaicans, Haitians, right? All these black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people. We can prove that we are the children of Israel because God promised that this will what we would be going through.
You know what I like about this? Now that I look at that. So a lot of people say God this, God that, but it could be a whole different God in this case. You know?
Yeah.
I seen something on YouTube. It was about like how people have like gods and stuff on the walls and stuff like that, but the God that they're praising is not the same God. But that's how they fool people, make people believe they're praising God. You know what I'm saying?
They're
It's
actually
like a
praising
mix of
another
people.
deity. Like Christmas. When you celebrate Christmas, you're worshiping a God. When yeah, Thanksgiving. You celebrated Thanksgiving? No, that's well, eating is the sacrifice. It's the worshiping of God. You cooking that turkey is the sacrifice of our slaughter of the Native Indians. Right? This is so why we can't do it any other day. Why we got it? Why?
Oh, yeah.
Why we
You
can't
know,
choose
it's
another
crazy
day?
that you said that because that's the thought that I had when I was serving my faith.
Right.
Saying,
Why-
like, this feels like every other day. What's going on?
It's religiously.
Yeah.
Religiously, we celebrate these days that the white man gave us, not knowing that these white people today are the same Romans or the same Greeks, and these same Romans and Greeks got all these gods from Egypt. You know what I mean? That's why they promote this homosexuality, because the first time we see homosexuality was in Egypt. You know what I mean? So
All that falls into us celebrating. All that falls to the council that they had in Psalms 83.
yeah, there was a
Keep us
council.
in.
What's up?
I've been trying to shop all morning. And he's been with me all morning. And I'm like talking back and talking to my mom on the phone. And I kind of like isolated myself from everyone like in April. And kind of just started like listening to preachers who talk about God, like reading stuff, watching stuff and shit. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I'm about to go to Clinton Street and see if they got an H&M somewhere around here too. So I'm like, I'm about to go to the other H&M. And as soon as I come home, I'm like, yo, we're gonna find him. You're not gonna get rid. You're not getting away from him no matter what.
And the Lord guided your steps.
Look, sis, I just gotta show you this because it's
You
just
guys got a
bothering.
page?
Yeah, we do, but I'm gonna show you something.
You like that? Well, I appreciate you guys for talking to me.
You mind hearing a couple things? You mind hearing a couple more things before you leave? A couple more things? All right, bring this out real quick. I'll take this. We're gonna put this away for now.
No, what he was about to do probably could have got him in trouble later.
What?
Jeremiah 17:4.
Yashayar, Deuteronomy 28:45. Bring that out. No, you keep going. I will.
Jeremiah 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Right. So the Most High prophesying that we was going to discontinue from our heritage. What's our heritage? Our identity, our land, our natural resources, our ancestors, right? Our traditions and customs. Keep going.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Right. So keep going.
For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
So the Israelites would lose their identity and lose their heritage because we made the Most High angry. How did we make the Most High angry? What did we do? You got to know what we did to make him angry so we know what we got to do to fix it, right? So what we did was, you got kids? You don't got kids? So I have children. If I told my children, this is rules of the house. You can't do these things in the house. You can't have no boys over, right? You can't be doing these things. You can't be up until 12 o'clock midnight. If they break those rules, they get punished. So the Most High gave the Israelites a set of rules. These rules is to keep the commandments. The commandments are instructions for us on how to live. So once we break these commandments, this is how we made the Most High angry. Just like if our children disobeyed what we told them to do, it would make us angry. Right? So bring that up.
This is Deuteronomy 28:15. I'm gonna bring this first. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now there's going to be a people on this earth that's cursed. Now there's nobody on this earth keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of God. Nobody keeps the law, statutes, and commandments. Nobody, not even a Jewish man. The Jewish in the land of Israel right now, they have the biggest gay parade. And according to God, that's an abomination. God says stone the homosexuals, right? So bring that up.
Cursed shall thou be in the city,
So okay.
cursed shall thou be in the field.
Right, so the Israelites is going to be cursed in the city, and the Israelites is going to be cursed in the field. What people do we see cursed in the city and cursed in the field? Right, you see who's getting gunned down in the streets in the city, who's on the corners destroying their community, selling selling fentanyl, selling heroin, cocaine, crack, weed, right? Weed laced with cocaine and fentanyl. Keep going. Curse in the field. Curse in the field. Who was picking sugarcane? The Taino Indians was picking sugarcane. Who was picking tobacco? Who was picking cotton? Right? These are the people that was cursing the city and cursing the field. Right? Keep going.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
Right.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So that's the reason why we're going to be cursed. It's because we didn't listen to God. Keep going.
To keep his commandments and his statutes, which he command thee this day.
Right.
And they, the curses, shall be upon thee for a sign.
So the curses is going to be upon us for a sign, because we're going to lose our heritage. We're not going to remember who we are. So these curses are going to be a sign to identify who the Israelites are. How do we know this 15th market? Because there's a sign there. How do we know that Citizens Bank? Because there's a sign there. If not, that'd just be a building, and this would just be a street. So these curses would identify a people, all the people on this earth. These curses will let you know who these children of Israel are. Keep going.
And for a wonder,
Wondering why are we going through these things?
and upon thy seed forever.
Forever, as long as we're not keeping the commandments.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things.
Right? Nobody want to keep the commandments. They say the commandments is too hard. There's only over 600 commandments, 613 commandments, and we can't even keep them all. I see you made that face, but there's over 2,500 commandments, laws in America. And you're not in jail. We're not in jail, so we keep them laws, but we find it hard to keep the laws of God. The laws of God is don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, right? Don't treat our women like whores. Don't kill our brothers. If we ever need something, we got to be there for them. If he need $100, I got to give him $100 and not ask for 125 back. Just get the $100 back whenever he got it. And if he don't ever got it, then I just got to take it to the chin and forgive him 70 times, 7 times, and give it to the Lord. And the Most High bless him.
Yep.
Right? These are how we take care of each other, right? We got to teach our children these commandments. We got to raise them in the right way. Keep going.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
Right.
which the Lord shall send against thee.
So we got to think about who's the people serving the enemies in this earth today. What people came over here against their will or gave up the land against their will, right? Because every other nation came over here on their own will. They opened up businesses, the East Indians, the Arabs, the Chinese, the Japanese, the white man. They come over here on their own will. But we're trapped here against our will. This land is stolen from us against our will. And his ancestors came over here against his will, right? So it said that we'll be serving our enemies. Keep going.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger,
So these same people that raped, robbed, murdered, and enslaved us, we got to go to them for food
and in thirst,
and for water. We can't grow our own food. But we can't collect rainwater. It's a federal crime to collect rainwater in some states. Keep going.
and in nakedness.
And for clothing, you looking for H&M, but that ain't our people's clothing store, right? Keep going.
And in wants of all things.
So we got to go to the same people that raped, robbed, murdered us for food, water, clothing, housing, education. We need permission to drive. We need permission to hunt. We need permission to fish. We need a death certificate to be legally dead.
That's crazy.
And we need to go and get that by the system, which is controlled by the European Caucasian white man. Right? Keep going.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
You ever seen Apocalypto?
Yo, stop playing.
What happened?
Talk about that.
Yeah.
That was the movie that came to my head. How at the end, that shit was
See that?
It was Christopher Columbus came with all them.
came over. See that?
so you could have stopped playing with me and rid of my mind.
This is the Most High. He's putting the
Most High.
spirit on us because he's revealing something to you. Only you know what you was thinking about. My bad, sis. Only you know what you was going through and what's on your mind. We don't know what's going on, but the Most High know. And it's only through the spirit that the Most High God is bringing out these precepts.
Yep.
Right? Keep going.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So the same people that raped, robbed, murdered, and enslaved us that we go to for the one of all things put an iron chain on our necks that went from slave to slave. That happened to us, the Native Indians, and it happened to the so-called West Africans. Keep going.
And the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
All right, who came from far? We over here in America, you had the French, the British, and the Spaniards that came from far. The reason why we speak English is because of the British. They colonized us. The reason why we speak Spanish is because of the Spain. And guess where Spanish comes from? Rome. Latin is originated in Rome. But the Romans colonized the known world. So now everybody is speaking some type of Latin. And the French came over here and colonized the Brazilians, the Haitians, and Jamaicans, and got them speaking Portuguese and French and Creole. Keep going. That's all slave masters' languages. And all of us have our slave master's last name. Him, the so-called blacks got names like Johnson, Jackson. We got names like Rivera, Gonzalez. These are all slave masters. And the French got names like Pierre and
That's
things.
why there's names on
They are very well known because
Yeah, yep.
your last name Rivera?
it.
Yep.
Something going on here, but keep going. My last name Rivera. Keep going.
It says, from far, from one end of the earth,
Right? So these nations came from far, from one end of the earth.
as swift as the eagle flieth.
Who represents this eagle? The eagle is a predatory bird. Of all the fowls, the eagle is on the top of the food chain. America idolizes this eagle on the top of their flag. And when you look at the Spaniards' flag, in the Spaniards' flag is an eagle. Right? When you look at the Commonwealth, you have the eagle inside of it, right? Keep going.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
We didn't understand Spanish. We didn't understand French or English. Christopher Columbus brought over a Hebrew interpreter whose name was, I forgot his name, but if you look it up, it's in Christopher Columbus' journal. And he where it showed that the 10 tribes of Israel came was to Arshareth. You can find that in the 14 hidden books that the Christian Protestant Church took out the Bible. This Bible contains 66 books that we have today. But the original King James Version Bible, the 1611 King James, contains all 80 books, which includes the Apocrypha. In the Apocrypha, it lets you know where the 10 tribes of Israel went, which would be the land of Arshareth, and Christopher Columbus confirming that land of Arshareth is America. And he brought a Hebrew interpreter whose name was, I forgot. I know it's gonna come to my head, but keep going.
Verse 54.
Yeah.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
If we kept the law, statutes, and commandments, like I told you, we can't treat our women like whores. We gotta love each other. We gotta take care of each other. There shouldn't even be a poor man in our nation if we kept the law, statutes, and commandments. So we used to be tender and loving towards one another, even when, how old are you? 24, I'm 34. So back in the time of when I used to live with my grandmother when I was a child, she'll leave the door wide open for everybody on the block playing football, come in the house, get something to eat, something to drink. Now you can't do that. You know what I mean? Because we're not.
I don't see that.
You don't see that because we grown to be more wicked and more.
Sure.
Well, what they did is they wanted to see how much they could control. Yeah. The Bible prophesied that there was going to be many plagues that's going to come, even different from the plagues of Egypt. All the plagues of Egypt was going to come, even those that wasn't written. Right. So keep going.
It says, the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother.
So we used to love each other, but now we got an evil eye towards each other. So do you see blacks and Hispanics killing Chinese people? What about white people? Asians? East Indians, Arabs? Who they killing? Each other. It said that we was gonna have an evil eye towards each other. So I'm gonna tell you that the Chinese ain't killing the Chinese. They be like, yeah, in China they're killing the Chinese, but in China they had the lowest homicide rate anywhere. Yep. The Arabs aren't killing each other. Right? Nobody's killing each other, only us. So God said that these are going to be the signs and wonders to let you know who the Israelites are. Yep. And one of these things is another nation coming from far, whose nation we don't understand, us serving them for the one of all things, and us over here killing each other. Keep going.
It says, and towards the wife of his bosom.
Right? Our people don't love our women. Like, they'll share their woman in the black and brown community. Right, they'll beat on them and things like that. But when they get a Chinese girl or a white girl, they treat her like some type of trophy. You know what I mean? When our woman is the best woman on this earth, we cook better, dance better, fight better. Everything we do is just better. Yep. Right? Keep going.
And towards the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
So we're going to be killing each other. We're going to have a history, a record of domestic violence, and we're going to have fatherless households. So by just that alone, right, who's killing each other? Who's treating their own woman like shit? Because the Arabs love their women, the Chinese love their women, and the women respect the fathers.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
Right? So you see us killing each other, us beating our women, and having fatherless households. The black and brown community, on the statistics, we are the highest people that have these kind of stats, right? Of gun violence towards each other, fatherless households, and domestic violence. Keep going.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other.
How did this happen? Keep on.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So we were scattered. How was we scattered? Through the transatlantic slave trade, through history and archaeology, we can prove that Native Indians and so-called blacks were sold to every nation on this earth on auction blocks. We were considered a property and not a people, right? And then it says that we would be serving other gods that our fathers never knew, which wood and stone. Now, when you go to the Christian church, what you bow down to? A wooden cross with a white man hanging on it, right? And when you go to the imam, when you go to the masjid with the Muslims, what they bow, what do they want to go at least one time in their lifetime in order to be an official Muslim? They want to go to Mecca.
They got a mini Kaaba.
They got a mini Kaaba?
That the imam stand behind.
That's crazy.
It's a mini Kaaba.
So they bow down to the stone every time they go to the masjid.
Our people's predominantly Christianity. Stone is a mecca.
And Christianity and Islam being the two major religions on this earth. But the Bible teaches that this is going to be a narrow path. Yes.
They be kissing on it, bowing down to it.
It's a spirit.
God ain't good. Yeah, he don't dwell in temples made of
But I
hands.
did not know that they actually I would never. It's an object.
It's an object. And they pray for our families, please help. Our people pray to the gravestones, right? They go to their grandmom's gravesite and pray, grandma, please watch over me. They're dead. There's nothing they can do, but our people don't pray to God. And God said he's a jealous God. Don't pray to nobody but me. But we got people thinking that Jesus is God and they're praying to Jesus. And they have this image. They have this image that that's how Jesus looks. But according to the Bible, he's a black man with feet of bronze if it burned in a furnace with woolly hair. And the teachers and prophets of the Bible was called niggas in the Bible.
This is Acts 17 and 24. It says, God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made of hands.
You don't dwell in these churches. The Bible teaches that wisdom crieth out in the streets. He said, go to the highways and hedges. Christ said, go to the highways and hedges and bid them to the marriage. I mean, the marriage is coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments, because Israel and Judah are the two brides of God, right? God has two wives, right? So it doesn't teach to be hidden in some type of building asking for a collection, right? We don't do that, right? Bring that up.
Luke 14 and 23. And the Lord
This
said,
is a big one. Keep going.
and the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing with you. We're not forcing this on nobody. Christianity was forced on us. Islam was forced on us through murder. We're not out here doing this. We out here planting seeds in our people. Lord willing, it grows. But let me show you. Go to Acts 13 and 1. And,
Ooh, yeah, this is heavy.
I know that you probably got to go. I know I see you antsy, but
This is Acts 13 and 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Nigger.
so now we can look here. It says, now there were in the church that was in Antioch certain prophets and teachers, Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Nigger. You're going to see it as N-I-G-R. They're going to say that's Niger.
So that's actually in the Bible?
That's this.
The Bible, the prophet is called niggas.
Pull it up in the
So
Bible.
this is another translation. What they say. Barnabas and Simeon.
All right, so look, let me show you real quick. Let me show you what I'm doing. So it's the same thing he was just reading. Now they were in the church that was at Antioch, certain prophets and teachers, Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger. You see, N-I-G-R. So they'll say that's Niger, right? So we're going to go into it because this book was written, the New Testament was written in Greek. Certain at Antioch, and that was a church, prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger. We go here, and this is the Greek. Read the highlighted part.
Yeah, I read all of it.
All right, I know you did. So when we see this word Niger, or we see it,
G 3526. Niger. Niger.
see the definition is black. And like he showed you when we read it in the NLT, that was called the black man. So here he was called nigga, here he was called the black man. So who was these people calling them niggas? These were the Romans, or white people. The first time we see a black man being called a nigga is in the Bible. And guess what? They was calling us Negroes. The Native Indians was the first people that was called Negroes. Because if you was darker than a brown paper bag, you was called a nigga. They is scared of us, and that's why they did divided and conquered, right? Because when you divide black and brown, right, then we're fighting each other. Now they don't need to fight us.
To be ignorant for America to flourish.
Yeah. They understand that as long as we in sin, we don't have no.
Probably seen him on TV.
Where you from?
Pay-per-view.
His name is Javante Davis.
Oh no! He ain't gonna do that. Hey, Mike.
Tank Davis.
Look like
This is our tank right here.
Alright, well, nice to meet you.
Love you, Mike.
Nice to meet you, bro. I love you too.
All praise to the Most High. I'll let you
Praise
say.
you, Most High.
Be safe out here,
Be
right?
safe out here.
You got our card? All right. You scan them QR
No,
codes?
I gotta subscribe to the channel.
All right, all praise. And our number on there. Call if you got any questions, sis. All right, all praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High.
No, praise to the
Right?
Most High.
Black, Hispanics, Native Indians, man, it's time to wake up.
Right.
It's the fall of the European Caucasian white man. This is the fall of America. What's up, King?